This VW Golf is ruining my day, literally ruining my day. It's too hot in here. My heated seats are on. I don't want my heated seats to be on, but I'm also trying to concentrate on the road. So what's really annoying is that this is still a very good car.
For most of its life, the Volkswagen Golf has been the go-to family hatchback. The benchmark. It's the car that you wouldn't hesitate to recommend to your mates because it just does everything, and it does it well. It looks smart, it's polished to drive, spacious, well built. You just can't go wrong with a Golf. Or can you?
I mean, you certainly can go wrong if you don't choose this very snazzy lime yellow colour, which I absolutely blooming love, by the way, because normally when you see a new Golf, they're what, blue, grey, red, just a bit boring really, whereas this one has been turning heads ever since I picked it up a couple of days ago, and I can only assume the heads are turning in a positive way, because I really like it. But more to the point, this 8th generation Golf, I mean, it's not quite the strong package that it once was. This is probably the weakest Golf that's ever been. But also in the same way, it's also kind of the best Golf that's ever been. What the hell's going on?
In terms of driving, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's very nice and controlled, it's composed, it's comfortable, it deals with lumps and bumps in the road very, very well. It has a little touch of finesse with the lumps and bumps. It's probably largely thanks to the soft suspension. Oh, and it shares the same locking differential technology as the previous Golf GTI, so it does feel quite keen to turn every now and again.
Right, but hold on a second, because when you go a bit quicker, you come across one of the first irritating things about the Golf.
Now look, I didn't expect to say this about a premium German hatchback, but I've got a little bit of road noise. I mean, it just kind of takes away from the refinement, doesn't it? I mean, this is supposed to be precision engineered, well-oiled machine. So the tyre noise was just a bit of a shock, really.
Hold your horses though, because this model is the Golf E Hybrid. It's got 201 brake horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque. Those are some pretty fruity numbers. So while you do get some road noise at motorway speeds, it should be a pretty effortless cruiser.
Now this plug-in hybrid model is actually quite a relaxing drive, I'm not going to lie. It feels effortless. So the electric motor gives 108 brake horsepower. So when you do put your foot down, it goes. It feels quite nice and nippy. It's quite lovely. Now VW are claiming that it will do 42 miles. If it's got a full battery, it'll do 42 miles of pure electric. Maybe in the early 30s. But, I mean, I've been driving this for, what, an hour? Battery's gone. That is the downside of having a plug-in hybrid, is if you don't keep on top of it and keep everything all fully charged, then, I mean, you're just going to drive around with a heavy battery for no reason, aren't you? I mean, this has got a 13 kilowatt hour battery. It will charge, if you put it in like a normal charge point, it will charge in about 4.5 hours. And then if you're just going to drive it around town, then you can make the most out of the ridiculous miles per gallon figure that VW have come out with. They're claiming it will do 300 miles per gallon. What we got here? 59? 59. Not quite.
You obviously don't need to go for the e-hybrid though, and the traditional petrol and diesel engines will be a better bet for most people. The diesels, in particular, are really efficient, with the 113 brake horsepower 2-litre version offering well over 60 miles per gallon. So you might be wondering, what's the fuss all about, Nicola? The Mk8 Golf has the odd niggle or two, but it sounds like a good all-rounder. And it is. But wait a minute. I haven't shown you the main reason this car drives me round the bend. For that, I need to pull over, because I'm about to get cross.
Okay, here we go then, the Golf interior. Now, historically, this has been where the Golf has been leaps and bounds ahead of everything else in terms of the quality and the layout and the build and buttons and knobs and all of the things that you really like. But this Mk8 Golf has taken a step back everywhere. And I mean everywhere. I mean, you've got digital dials, nice and easy to read. Then you've got a 10-inch screen next to it. That's connected by black plastic gloss stuff, which just gets so dusty and dirty really easily, and fingerprint marks just blooming everywhere.
Then you've got storage, right? Which is pretty decent. Door bins are good. Satisfying cup holder there. Place to charge your phone. I don't know what this is for. Can someone tell me what this is actually for? Because so far, all I've been putting in there is my inhaler. Fits my inhaler nicely. That's pretty much it. Overall though, I would say the quality is just fine. It doesn't feel as premium as it should feel when you sit inside a Golf. I mean, it's no better than like a Ford Focus, you know?
You might also be wondering, where's the volume knob gone? And the climate controls? Well, they're up here on this very irritating glossy touch panel, and I cannot understand why.
This next section, I'm going to try not to get angry, but the touch sensitive controls in the latest Golf is so irritating. I mean, luckily on this version we don't have the touch sensitive buttons on the steering wheel, but on higher spec models you do get all of this touch sensitive. But on here, I mean, you're always having to lean forward to touch the screen. Everything is on here. Climate control, your music, your maps. I mean, yes, it's got wireless Apple CarPlay and all the things, but this is the most infuriating thing I think I've ever had to use, ever, in any car. Because you're driving and then you're having to try and figure out how to use it, and then your climate controls are in there. I want to turn my heated seats on, but wait, I've got to do that in there, and then I've got to press this and press that. And it's all touchscreen and annoying. Plus, I'm going to add this onto the list, it doesn't light up. So at night, you're trying to change the volume or trying to change the temperature, you can't see it. If they changed this, it would be a perfect car.
Look, all cars have their faults, but these are things that you use multiple times every single time you drive the car. And Volkswagen has made it way more difficult than it needs to be. The company is at least updating cars with the optional Discover Pro infotainment system to improve the voice control system. So you shouldn't have to rely on the touch controls so much. But why the hassle? Just give me bloomin' buttons.
Okay, I am going to calm down a little bit because look, it is still a very good car and there have been some improvements made, especially here in the boot. There is more space, this much more space to be precise. 1 litre has been added to boot space. So you've got 381 litres, which is still more than a Ford Focus. Very nice. However, if you go for the plug-in hybrid version, there's nowhere to put your charging cables. You can't put them under the boot floor, so you've got to put it in the boot. So yes, you've gained 1 litre, but then you've lost like 6 because of the cables.
The rear seats are a bit roomier too, and you can fit 2 adults comfortably back there. Oh, and look at that! Little bonus pockets in the rear seats. Perfect for your passengers' phones. Okay, I'm done. Need to go home. Chill out now. Oh, for God's sake!